Okay, we are on. Very nice. All right, so I am so excited. If you are here live or if you're tuning in for the rebroadcast, I'm really excited tonight to have Nicole Gonzales with us. Nicole is a nutrition guru all the way from the West Coast, and she's going to share some of her amazing information just about nutrition and how to live a cleaner life. So, Nicole, can you just give us a little background about you and then launch in?
Sure. So, probably about 5 years ago, I was super sick, lost my job, didn't know what was wrong with me, and kept going to the doctor. And they kept saying, "Well, you're depressed. You know, we want to put you on medication." I'm like, I'm depressed because I can't leave the house because I can't figure out what's wrong with me. So, long story short, I basically did all my research, and I know most people don't have that. A lot of times, don't have that opportunity. So I try to just share as much as possible. I researched for a year and a half. I didn't get back on any prescription medication, and I did a complete overhaul on my diet. Um, there's a lot of things that people don't realize in our ingredients and just in our food in general. Um, I don't take anything that's over the counter. I don't take anything prescription medication, and I'm not trying to badmouth medication because I know some people don't, have to be on it. But I do want for people to know that there is another way, and our bodies are designed to heal themselves. So if we get on the right track, if we reset and get on the right track, I truly believe that most things that are ailing you could be reversed or helped. My quality of life was at zero, and now I feel like um, there's such a difference. I still have things going on, um, but for the most part, I do a lot of holistic. I have a lot more energy than I did, and I mean, a couple of things that people don't realize, like for me, things that I found out were probably one in every 100 people that it happens to with grains and legumes.
Mm,
So you eat clean, and if you're eating organic grains and legumes, beans, you figure that's good, right? Well, it's not for everybody. That causes inflammation in my body, even brown rice. So those are types of things that I found out that I'd like to share with people because I would have never guessed
yeah.
that nuts, grains, legumes, things like that can cause inflammation in people's bodies.
Yeah.
I was having a huge gut issue, so I highly recommend getting on a probiotic.
Mhm.
And you want to look for something that has a prebiotic in it so it helps it carry it so it doesn't just go right through you. But for the most part, everything stems from our gut. And if our gut isn't healthy, um, everything else starts to mess up from there.
It's amazing. I mean, you know so much. I know we have 15 years, so there's no way to really tap into everything that you know. But one of the things that I think is really difficult for people is, there is so much information out there. How do you know what's right and what's not right? And,
So here's the thing that I came to the conclusion because there's all these fad diets. There's keto, there's eating clean. There's so many things out there that people can do. And what I've come to learn is that you have to do what's right for your body.
mhm,
And we always have to remember every body is different. So everything is going to affect people differently. I tried to go vegan, and my body just did not process that. It didn't, it just didn't work for me. And people are like, oh my gosh, I felt so amazing. And I mean, I stuck with it and I tried so hard thinking, like, this is going to be my breakthrough. And I honestly feel like my body needs meat.
mm,
And I've heard from people who were meat eaters that went vegan. They say the opposite. Like my body can't process meat. And a really interesting thing that I read as I was researching was a doctor who was a dentist before was curious because he kept seeing people come in and facial structure was changing with things were going wrong with people's gums, the kids as they were growing, everything was just changing, and lots of cavities. And so he just was like, I want to know what this is all about. So he stopped being a dentist. He went and did all this research. And the research he came back with, he went to all these indigenous tribes out in the middle of nowhere that they don't have any civilization. They don't have junk food. They're living off the land. So long story short, basically what he came up with was that our ancestors, wherever they lived, it gets passed down through our DNA. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not trying to make claims here, but this is what I've read, and it totally made sense to me, and it opened my eyes to see that not everything that works for someone else is going to work for me. Right. So I think it's about kind of putting those puzzle pieces together for your own self and what works for you, and not to feel pressured by people that say like, no, you'll feel amazing because I felt amazing. And, sometimes there's nothing wrong with you. It's just not the way your body will process things. Everybody processes things different, in different parts of the world. A lot of people didn't have access to milk. If it was really, really cold, there was no milk. And so that they never drank milk. And so I do believe that that's why a lot of people are lactose intolerant. Mm-hmm. And they have an issue with dairy because their ancestors never drank it. So our DNA makeup doesn't even know how to process it.
What was when you were doing your research, what was like the most surprising thing that you found, because that's happened to me before, where I used to think soy was this great healthy thing the way it was marketed, and then found out that, oh my goodness, it really isn't. What was that thing for you that you found like that?
Oh my gosh, I still have aha moments. I still read. I mean, it's just, to me, it's a passion and it's a love. I can't think of any one thing off the top of my head. I think my biggest was that what I said, that I finally, like a light opened up to say, not everything works for the same people.
Right.
I do believe in eating clean and really, really looking at ingredients. Just the other day, I was in the grocery store and I saw, Kraft is now making a avocado oil mayonnaise. Mm-hmm. And on the front it says mayonnaise made with avocado oil, and you turn it around and there's like 20 ingredients, and it still has soybean oil, it still has canola. So that, if I could give one piece of major advice, that would be my advice, is that always look at the ingredients. Yeah. And if you can't pronounce it, then you shouldn't buy
it. Right, exactly.
I mean, it should have 5 to 7 ingredients, and you should know what they are.
Yeah. Somebody said that to me once. They said, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. And if it has a number after it, it's probably not natural.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's great.
So, and then things like a lot of healthier foods have gums. So you have to be very careful with gums. Gums are okay if they come from a plant source. And also I think, going back to your question, I'll have to say my big thing was stevia. So just probably about 3 months ago, I was having just the worst stomach issues. And I'm like, I eat so clean. Like, why do I still have stomach issues? Well, I read an article and it says that stevia is processed just like sugar is. And that's why it turns white. And so if you're eating a stevia, and again, this is like 1 in 100 people. Right. But if you're having issues and you can't find the root cause, I definitely would say look at the stevia you're ingesting, and the gums, any kind of gum. And they're not bad, but they can be bad for some people. And that was my issue. It was the stevia. So the best stevia to have is green, because the leaf is green. So if your stevia is green, that means it's pure stevia leaf. And that your body will be okay with that for the most part. But if it's white and you're having issues, I would pull that out for a week or two and see. And again, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying that they can cause issues for some people.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't know that either. That makes sense. It's white. It's
I
processed just like sugar.
yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. That's amazing. So where are you going? You must be just looking at a treasure trove of stuff. I mean, do you try to make sure that it's peer reviewed or that there's studies behind the things that you're reading? How are you putting faith in what you're reading?
I think I've gotten to the point where I have trust. I mean, my personal, feel like I have trusted sources.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple people that I follow on Instagram that I've really like read into all their stuff, and I haven't necessarily investigated it, but it all makes sense to me. And a lot of things that they've recommended or, you know, have said to try and things like that, I've tried and I've noticed the difference.
Yeah.
So I think I mostly kind of go from there, because if you go by sourcing and all of that, I mean, there's always another side to the coin.
Yeah.
Always.
Right.
And I think that was the big issue for me, is that it was like, what am I supposed to do here? Because you can always find an article that counteracts with one article that you're reading.
Yeah.
So I think for more so it's about finding a trusted source. And if you feel like you're doing things that they're recommending and it's helping you, then I say go for it.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I like what you were saying too, that if you are having an issue in some way and you try to identify that thing, just take that out and see how it goes. I mean, it's really just a matter of trial and error a little bit.
For sure, it is, and it can be very time consuming, but I think that's why I try to do what I do, so that I can help people if they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if I had the opportunity and really the blessing to be able to take that year and a half and just really try to figure out a way for myself, then I'm willing to share that with whoever is open to hearing it, because there is a lot of people suffering and they don't have the time. They're working full time, they're full-time parents. Like insurance doesn't cover functional medicine or holistic or naturopaths. So a lot of times we are backed into a corner, and it's like, hands up, just do whatever the doctor's telling me, even though I may be hesitant about it, because you really have no other choice.
Right.
So.
Right. Now, if somebody wanted to follow you and kind of tap into all the information that you're learning and that you already know, how would they do that? Can they follow you on Instagram?
Right now, I'm not really. I've got a lot of personal stuff going on in my life, so I'm not really.
Okay.
I do have some stuff on my Instagram from before, but I'm not really active on it right now. But
Yeah.
I will, if anyone wants to message me on Facebook, I would be more than happy to speak to anyone or help, share whatever I know with them. And again, I'm making no claims, and I have no schooling or education on this or certifications. I just am willing to share what's helped me, and maybe spark a light bulb for somebody. And if it's like you said, you didn't know about stevia. Well, if you were having gut problems and I mentioned that to you and you pull stevia out, what if that helped you?
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you, and I don't think you even know this, but before you and I ever knew each other or even met, you answered a question for me in our Facebook group that just blew me away, because I was buying this certain type of almond milk. I sent a picture of the ingredients in, and you let me know about, is it carrageenan or carrageenan?
yes.
That was a carcinogen, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
If you'll have me, I would love to come back and share some things that I buy.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
If anybody, if there's a call or a need for that, I would love to, share the cleanest products that I found. Like you're talking about almond milk. There's a couple that I found that, like it's Malk, MALK. And basically it's got 3 ingredients. So it's like, if you don't have the time to I always say make your own, but if you don't have the time, I recommend Malk, or I think it's Khalifa Farms. Mm-hmm. And those are pretty, they pretty much have 3 or 4 ingredients, and it's basically almonds, sea salt, water.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Stuff we can all pronounce. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be fantastic. I'd love to have you come back and do that. I think that would be extremely valuable.
I'll even share some of the stuff I use, like for, you know, when I feel like I might be getting sick or feeling a little under the weather. I would love to share all of that and just give people another door, you know.
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic. If we lived closer, I would follow you around in the supermarket with my camera.
That's my goal. Once I get through this little hump in my life, I want to get back on and really start, you know, hopefully people will follow and I can do things like that. I know there's been a lot of call for it just in my friend circle.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, it's been a little hard right now but like I said, I am totally open to message me on Facebook, anytime.
That's great.
I will answer any questions that I feel I can answer, you know, from my personal experience. And
that's great. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. I mean, you do so much good for so many people. I know you have answered. I just sit there and watch you answer questions for people, and I know that it really helps them. So I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I definitely would love to have you come back. That would be great.
I would be happy to come back anytime. Anytime you want, just let me know and we'll schedule it.
Sounds great.
I have a lot more knowledge to share if you want it.
Excellent. I know it's hard to get it all in 15 minutes.
It is, yeah, and I want to be respectful of time, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Nicole. I appreciate it. It's great to see you.
Good to see you, Steve.
Okay.